Boom, 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 boom. And away we go. Give everybody just a second to come on into the stream. Gather around, children. Gather around. It's that time. It's time to spit some knowledge on your favorite team, the Denver Broncos, something we do every Wednesday night as we have all streams up, running, and away we go. Broncos country, what is up? Wednesday night, June 11th, into the OTAs. Here we are. Breaking news today coming out of Broncos country, Tom, was a move that I think you and I both saw coming. We talked about it last week on this show. Yeah. Denver Broncos got themselves a new running back. It's the news of the NFL. It's the news of Denver. You've got half of Broncos country saying yay, the other half saying WTF. We're going to get into it. And before we do, I am Luke Patterson, one half of MHI. Joined with me, as always, is Thomas Hall, the other half, and our good buddy Scott Kennedy on the ones and twos. Ornery as ever. Tom, how we doing as we're shaking out these OTAs? How are we reacting to this new Denver Broncos running back? J.K. Dobbins is in the house.
Yeah, well, not overreacting, I hope, but most people love to overreact in today's day and age, but this is something that needed to happen. OTAs, the mini camp going on. I'm not overreacting to the reports I'm hearing out of there. I think a lot of people are. So I'm trying to stay even keeled and just, let the stuff play out, see what's happening, and not make too much of these spot reports about who's doing great and who's doing bad and whatnot, waiting for training camp to roll around.
I love how you call them spot reports because we're going to get into some of those spot reports later in the show. Hearing some interesting things about the Broncos defense out there in Denver, Colorado today. What does that mean? We're also hearing some rumors on social media. No way, right? When does that ever happen? We're hearing some rumors about the Denver Broncos stadium. Is a location starting to leak out? We'll get into those things and more. But before we do, we got to say what's up to some of our friends, our family, our MHI crew that rock with us every single Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain. David Papa Bear kicking us off, keeping you in our thoughts and prayers, brother. So proud of you. You keep on doing you. Good evening, Broncos country. 13-4. Man, David, when you say 13-4, that just gets me so pumped because that means the Broncos were the toast of the town in the NFL for the 2025 season. That means that Bo Nix is a potential MVP candidate. That means that the Broncos are favored to go deep in the postseason, and that means that the Broncos would have had the best record in the NFL. I don't even know if they've done that before, Tom. You're a franchise historian, if you will. Have the Broncos ever boasted the best record in all of the league?
That's a great question. They weren't in 98 when they had the best team. They were 14-2, and the Vikings were 15-1. Same with Super Bowl 50. The Panthers only lost one game. I'm trying to think about a time that they were, and probably it could have been 13-3 in 2012. That might have been it, but I'm not 100% positive.
And we all know how that ended up. But nonetheless, David, your optimism, man, I am right there with you. We need so much of your optimism every Wednesday night on this show. And I hope we can bring you some optimism as well. We are thinking of you. We are praying for you. You are always rocking for us. We have got your back. 13-4, man, that gets me going. And it sounds like a lot of those 13-4 predictions that David's making, he knows this defense is going to look pretty damn good. Some early reports coming out of OTAs, Tom, Broncos country. Scott, you'll be shocked to know there's already an OTA MVP in the house. Who is that? Well, he's on defense. His name's not Pat Surtain. Take a few guesses, and we'll get to it a little bit later in the show. David Yonkin, back-to-back David on David crime. It's how we do it every night here on Wednesday. Can't pick a favorite when it comes to the Davids. Generous $4.99 over on YouTube. Question, last season was a rebuild year, but 10-7, that's not a rebuild. So what is this season about?
This season is about seeing how deep they can go in the playoffs. I mean, they've opened up their window. It's mostly about Bo Nix taking that next step and seeing how far they can go in the postseason. If they don't do that, then it's a disappointment. Now, do I see them winning the Super Bowl? I mean, anything can happen, but they're based on what I've seen from last year going into this year, they've improved, but maybe not quite enough. But that doesn't mean that they can't. So, but what I will say they had better go deeper in the playoffs than they did last year. That's what this is about. This is about setting up their team to make a run at the Super Bowl over the next 3 years.
I absolutely love it. And how do you get there? Well, you just went down the long-term goals. Let me hit you with some short-term goals for this season so they can eventually meet up with the long-term goals. I don't know about you, Tom. I'm guilty of this all the time. I'll set a long-term goal. It's a huge goal. It may even take a few years down the road. And then sometimes it falls by the wayside because I haven't set the short-term goals to get up to that point. Here's what I think the Broncos need to do, David. The very first thing they need to do is win in Kansas City. Something that they can't do, something that I'm still upset about from last year. I'm not going to let it go. Alex Forsythe and Luke Wattenberg will forever be on my list until they redeem themselves in Kansas City. You also got to sweep the LA Chargers. The Chargers have had your number, Denver, especially last year. You do those two things, I think you're on your way reasonably to contend for the AFC West. What is the 2025 football season about? It's winning your division. No longer can the Kansas City Chiefs go unchallenged. Let's not overlook the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that they are a viable threat, and they've definitely had Denver's number last year. But it's on to a new season. How do the Broncos take the next step with Bo Nix, with Sean Payton, with this new rookie class? It's by winning the division. Starts in the AFC West.
Absolutely. They have to sweep a team, whether it's the Chargers, the Raiders, or, hopefully the Chiefs. They have to sweep a team and split with the rest in order to have any chance at winning the division. I've been saying that for the last couple of years. That has to come to fruition if they have any chance at winning the title. And I think their sights are set on the title. I know that the Chiefs have been reigning supreme, so to speak, for several years, but I really think this team believes that they can win that title. And I think there's some folks around the league that are starting to believe it too.
You don't believe, as Coach Sanders would say up there in Boulder. And a huge shout out to all of our guys and gals watching us. You guys can watch our pods here at MHH, whether it's MHI, Building the Broncos, the Mile High Huddle podcast. You can get into all of it. Dove Valley Deep Divers, Orange and Blue View. I mean, we rock and roll every single night. We appreciate it. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X, wherever you can listen, we are ready to hear you. We want to hear your comments in the sections and let us know where you're coming from. We have a good friend, Will Israel, finally got to listen live. Go Broncos from Tahlequah, Oklahoma. What's up, man? Broncos country representing deep out there in Sooners Nation. And what is this triple? David on David on David. This is a triple threat, David on David crime. Do you guys see us getting Asante Samuel Jr. out of LA? Ooh, David, I like this a lot. This is interesting. We already stole one Los Angeles Charger in J.K. Dobbins. Why not another?
I don't think so. I think they feel like they're pretty well set on that secondary. But, he would definitely add to that room. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great idea. I just don't think the team is going to go spend the money on Asante Samuel Jr. just to fill up more of a secondary that's probably already one of the best in the league if Jahdae Barron can, be the player that they think he's going to be.
I liked him coming out of Florida State. I completely agree with you, Tom. Unless injuries. Something happens in these weird workouts, these OTAs. You see Riley Moss, right? We're talking about J.K. Dobbins and his injury history, Broncos' new running back. Let's not forget Riley Moss. We all have some love for Riley Moss. We all have a soft spot for Riley Moss, but clearly the Denver Broncos saw an opportunity to improve in the cornerback position. That's why they took first-round pick Jahdae Barron out of Texas, right? So it's a fluid situation. I'm not going to say never, but David, you've got an eye for talent because I do like Asante Samuel Jr. It's just so interesting, the different tiers of defensive backs and where they're going to be picked up. And Asante Samuel Jr., for me, still a really good, I'm not going to say prospect. He's a good player. I would like to see a little bit more out of him. He's still a little bit unproven, but you never know. Here's another friend of the show over on Facebook, generous Facebook stars. Those go a long way. Ralph Bracegriddle, Tom, and Luke. I miss you guys. I'm stoked for some veteran leadership in the running back room. Bo's red zone efficiency was with the best last year, and with the additions we've made, I think we might have a red zone offensive combined with a top 3 defense. Let's get this season started. Tom, Ralph's on to something here. How much does having a veteran running back in J.K. Dobbins not only assist Bo Nix, but R.J. Harvey as well?
Well, like you said, it's a veteran addition who has been in the NFL, someone that you can, one, rely on not to fumble the ball. He only has fumbled twice in his NFL career, never lost one. So you've got that. You've got someone who can play all 3 downs. And, if R.J. Harvey is not, doesn't pick it up the offense right away or struggles a little bit as a rookie, you've got that veteran presence who can carry the load. Hopefully he stays healthy, but this guy can carry the load and play all 3 downs. So it's going to help ease R.J. Harvey in, and it's going to help take some of the burden off R.J. Harvey, and it's just flat out going to improve that running back room. So there's 3 things right out of the gate that this does for the Broncos.
We are talking Broncos OTAs. Training camp is right around the summer. We're rocking and rolling here on MHI. And guys, speaking of training camp kicking off this summer, it is summertime here in Broncos country. Make this the best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick your gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more.
You guys, Factor absolutely powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. It's easy to savor more this summer. Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. Get started at factormeals.com/milehigh50 off and use code milehigh50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code milehigh50 off at factormeals.com/milehigh50 off for 50% off plus free shipping.
Boom. He is Thomas Hall, Scott Kennedy, Luke Patterson. This is MHI, where we are reacting to J.K. Dobbins. Broncos country, how do you feel? We got a few of you guys saying, hey, it's nice to have a veteran in the room full of a bunch of young guys. That can surely go a long way. Haven't seen a lot of griping just yet. I know it's out there on social media. If you're not a fan of the J.K. Dobbins signing, let us know why. What does it mean for R.J. Harvey? Are you afraid the rookie's going to lose out on some first-team reps? Where does Jaleel McLaughlin fall? Let us know. Just like our guy Phil McLaughlin, another set of generous Facebook stars. We really, really appreciate you, Phil. Hope you are enjoying your summer. Good evening, Thomas, Luke, and Deegan Scott. Really good to have a true veteran in the running back room. But listen, someone's got to go. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, who's it going to be is a good question. It could be Estime. I mean, unfortunately he was in the doghouse. So unless he makes some massive improvement, massive jump, and is more secure with the ball, you might see him moving out. I think Bidet and even McLaughlin should be either any of those. But I think it's Estime. I really do. I think they're trying to improve that room and that kind of power back, carry the load with those first 2, and then you got your change of pace guy, which is probably going to be McLaughlin. But I think it's Estime is going to be the odd man out in this situation.
Yeah, that's tough. We were talking about this before the show, just kind of a peek behind the curtain. And I think we all kind of arrived at that same conclusion where it's like, the writing is on the wall. Why was Audric Estime in the doghouse, you suppose? I mean, we can only speculate. It was last season. It's truly a new year. Turn the page, whatever we got to say. But I know fumbling was a little bit of an issue. I'm also starting to wondering, was the playbook an issue for Audric Estime? Because that's something Sean Payton will not tolerate. We know that. He expects you to come in and know the plays. Executing them, that's another thing. That's learning. That's affecting the rest of the team, the evolution of the drill, if you will. But, man, Audric Estime, at first, I was wondering if J.K. Dobbins was a scare tactic for Audric Estime, Tom. And what do I mean by that? We talked about him a week ago on this show, on these MHI airwaves, and then it took a whole other week to sign the guy in J.K. Dobbins. I mean, it makes me wonder if Sean was testing Audric a little bit, or testing another guy. Was it Tyler Bidet? Is he going to make the practice squad? Jaleel McLaughlin? What sort of future does his projection be in the 2025 season? I don't know. Scat back kind of a role. I'm tired of seeing him being jammed between the tackles. I don't know, man. Why did it take a full week for J.K. Dobbins to get signed by the Broncos? They were whining and dining, I'm sure, steakhouse or God knows where they took the young man. I'm sure they had a good time last week, but it took a whole week. Was that to make sure all the physicals were good? Because Broncos country, Tom, Scott, all of us, the Mile High Huddle podcast, every guy and gal in Broncos country knows this man comes with an injury history. Was it just to make sure that all those medicals were good to go? Or does Sean Payton have ulterior motives for why it took so damn long to get a veteran back in the room?
Yeah, I think it was because they didn't need to rush. I mean, nobody was going after him. He, everybody knew that he had, that unrestricted free agent tender on him. It was, that negotiation was probably easier than trying to rush through it in the regular kind of rush of free agency. So they had time to do it. They just wanted to get the deal done the right way. That was beneficial for the team mostly, which it really was. It looks like that is a pretty good deal for a running back of his caliber. So I think it was just no rush to really do it. And so they took their time and did it and got the best deal that they could.
Do we have the figures? Were those released today for Audrey Estime yet on the contract? Sometimes they're like a day or two late, right? Or did they come instantly with the transaction?
Yeah, I thought it came out. I thought it was pretty reasonable. I thought, but I could be wrong. Maybe I was reading the wrong thing. I was thinking like it was $4 million a year or something like that. But
the timing of it was all weird too, because like it was a week, he had dinner and then maybe they waited on it a week. But then yesterday the boys knew this move was coming because of all the reports, but then the transaction actually came through. We all got the email today from Broncos media for the press report. So I don't know. The timing of it's interesting. Another interesting aspect, apparently J.K. Dobbins really wanted to keep his number 27 that he wore out there in L.A. I'm not sure if he wore it with the Baltimore Ravens. So struck a number deal with Damari Mathis, Broncos cornerback, to get that number 27 jersey. You can read all about it. Chad's got an article up at milehighhuddle.com right now. What do you suppose is the going rate for a number 27 Broncos jersey, Tom? The number has a little bit of history here in Denver, in Broncos country, beloved number, as you know.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know if it cost too much to get it from Damari Mathis, but it's going to cost a lot if he doesn't perform based on wearing that jersey.
Man, you start to go through it, right? And obviously Steve Atwater's at the very top of the list, right? Broncos Ring of Famer. Just nasty. The accolades that man has it goes without saying. And then for me, obviously, I think of the late great Derek Williams as well. I was at his last game that he ever played, man, and that was just an absolute tragedy. It was really cool to see Mr. Bolin, the Denver Broncos, take care of the Derek Williams family post his tragedy. But then Noshawn Marino, he's kicking around here in the Mile High City. I bumped into Noshawn a few times. He's a really good guy. Number 27, first round pick out of Georgia, right? And I don't want to say anything bad about Noshawn. Noshawn's been good to me, but I think Noshawn's most memorable moment has to be the tears during the national anthem, right? That was man, homeboy was crying. Those were some tears, man. I don't think we've seen anything tears, like that ever since. That's just a patriotic dude, and I absolutely love him. Just like this guy. What is up? Now, here's a name I haven't heard in a very long time. Our guy, you know him, you love him, Michael Ronquillo, over on Facebook. Hope you're staying cool out there in AZ. Good evening, Thomas and Luke on the Mile High Insiders. Go, Bo Broncos. Tom, I wanted to ask you about this. Bo Nix starting to take over just a little bit for the Denver Broncos. Mike McGlinchey says it's his team. I want to get your reaction, but before we do, Deanna Henry, holy cow, what a very generous super chat. Here's another friend that we haven't seen in very long. I hope your family, the grandchildren, hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for tuning in to Tom, Scott, and I here on MHI. I really like the J.K. Dobbins signing. Low risk, high reward, plus a needed veteran presence in our running back room. Super excited for this season to start. I've got my tickets for the meet and greet. Can't wait to meet everyone in person. This season is going to be epic. I got goosebumps, Deanna. That's going to be awesome. The meet and greet. New York Giants, I want to say week 6 off the top of my head. Week 6, week
or
7.
I can't remember.
New York Giants.
7. It's also the I think alumni week as well. So
it is alumni week. It's a big weekend, Deanna. You picked a fantastic weekend for your beloved Broncos, and I know all the cats here at Mile High Huddle are going to be super, super stoked to spend some time with you. Can't wait to share some good times, some good laughs. This is going to be awesome, man. I'm getting really, really excited for the MHH meet and greet. It's a lot of fun. Tom, how would you describe the MHH meet and greet for those who have not attended and are curious? What's this meet and greet thing we're always talking about every fall?
Well, I felt it was good camaraderie. I think everybody that's been a friend of the show, you get to meet them, you get to talk. You get to learn more about each of them other than just what we, read on the live chat. So the camaraderie was huge when I've been out there. So that's my big takeaway. It's fun, but you get to really learn about folks. So that's good.
Yeah, and it's awesome, man. Here's what it is, man. Chad and MHH, they go all out. We've got our own MHH tent. We've got guys grilling burgers and dogs. There's cold pop flowing. Last year, Nick Kendall, right? Good friend of the show, started the show with me very years ago and has definitely done well with Scott in the mornings, and one of our prominent writers right now, milehighhuddle.com, co-host of Building the Broncos. But Nick's mom and dad brought some homemade baked goods last year, cookies, all the way from Iowa, I believe. So you never know, man. It's family oriented. Bring kids. It's friendly. It's a blast. I can't wait to see everybody out there. Should be a good time, Deanna. I got really, really excited with that. Also, you never know who you're going to bump into in the parking lot. You'll see a lot of Broncos alumni walking around. You'd be shocked. Just like we're always saying, look around at training camp. You never know who you're going to bump into, but a really, really fun event, and gives everybody an opportunity to break some bread, to share a laugh, to have a great afternoon, and I can't wait for it. I will say this, Tom, I do have a problem with the MHH meet and greet, and here it is. We're all too nice to each other at the meet and greet, if you think about it. We're all like, everybody's sharing the same opinion, and I'm talking about the hosts. We're always fighting on social media. We're always attacking each other, even on these shows, and yet we get along just a little too much over there. We might have to stir up some trouble, at least the MHI side of things.
Yeah,
we really appreciate Broncos Country rocking with us. It's MHI. He's Thomas Hall. I'm Luke Patterson. We are reacting. J.K. Dobbins, he is your new Denver running back. How do we feel about him? Fair deal. Adds veteran leadership. We were asked last week, how's his pass blocking, Tom? Well, I went back and looked a little bit, and it's okay. It's nothing crazy. It's not like you're going to have Derrick Henry back there getting in the way of somebody, but J.K. Dobbins, he knows what he's doing. Sean Payton's happy to have him in this room. I'm going to ask you straight up, what's it mean for R.J. Harvey? Is R.J. Harvey going to be losing reps? Because that's the other side of this coin. Some in Broncos country, rightfully so, are sharing their opinions, saying, wait a second. Why in the hell are we buying an aged running back who can't finish a season, who just got kicked to the curb by the Los Angeles Chargers? What does he do for the Broncos football team, let alone Quadzilla, R.J. Harvey, Broncos' newest toy and rookie running back?
Well, if you listen to Sean Payton and you believe what he's talking about when it comes to carrying the load, he doesn't want a workhorse running back. He doesn't want one that takes all of the carries. He wants a committee type running style. So I think that's exactly what it was planned to begin with. They just finally found somebody who could do that consistently with their brand new running back in RJ Harvey. They had question marks about the rest of the group, so they went out and got someone to do that. I'm sure it will take carries from RJ Harvey if he didn't come here and the running back room stayed the same, but I don't think that's what Sean Payton wanted. So here you are, you're gonna have two running backs who are going to get plenty of carries during the season. And, obviously if one of them's a little hotter than the other, probably get a few more. And, frankly, J.K. Dobbins is probably not going to finish the season. So by the time that happens, R.J. Harvey's going to be carrying the load.
I love to see it. Just like I love to see this. This is my beautiful mother, Joanne Patterson, tuning in to MHI. What's up, Mom? I love you very much. My mother and father are the reasons I'm a Broncos fan. They're the reasons I do this. Colorado natives as well. Great memories watching all kinds of winning Broncos football, Super Bowl winning Broncos football as a little kid, and even to our middle school and high school years. I don't know what some of your traditions are with your family. Sometimes with my girls, they know they just got to leave me alone lately with their Broncos success, but still, it's a nice day it's a nice time rather to get with family. And that's some things I'll always remember. High school football Friday night, JV Saturday, if you will, but Sunday was a family day. And Sunday always revolved around some really good cooking from my parents and sitting around and cheering on our favorite team. So a huge shout out. I love you, Mom. Thank you very much for tuning in. And Phil McLaughlin, love you as well. Circling right back around. Generous Stars over on Facebook. Guys, who are 3 breakout players this year for your Denver Broncos? I got Jonathan Cooper, Marvelous Marvin Mims, and R.J. Harvey.
Well, I like to go with people who aren't really expected to break out. I already assume Cooper's going to have a good year because he had a pretty darn good one last year. Mims is a candidate, but he came on pretty strong. Harvey's expected to be a good player, being a high pick as he was. So I'm going with dark horses this time. I'm going to go with Wazirike. I've been calling it for him to step up. He is going to play better than people expected, and he's going to make DJ Jones expendable next year. I also think Luke Wattenberg is going to surprise a bunch of people this year. He's got a year in the system. He played pretty well in pass protection. He's going to get a little bit better, and he's going to surprise some folks. And then finally, I think that you're going to see somebody unexpected in the linebacker group. I don't know if it's going to be Sanders or Lavelle Bailey. One of those two are going to step up and take the starting reins from Alex Singleton.
Interesting. You don't believe in Luke Wattenberg. You're just saying that to piss me off because I can't stand those guys.
You wanted more conflict, so here you go.
I wanted more conflict. I know, Tom. I need us fighting the other shows. You're not supposed to attack me on my show. No, here's the thing, man. I like it. How about this? How about Riley Moss? I know a lot of people might say he already had a breakout year, Luke. What are you talking about? I want to see a healthy Riley Moss for the entire season, and I would love to see some consistency. Now, I believe Homeboy was banged up a little bit, and that was some of his struggles, but that's no excuse. Everybody's hurt out there on the field. I want to know how Riley Moss responds to a first-round corner being drafted in Jahdae Barron from Texas. Does that light a fire under you? That man just replaced you in the starting lineup for all intensive purposes. Corner has got to clean up. Also curious about Pat Bryant, and maybe we could talk about Pat Bryant a little bit later in the show. It's social media, whatever that means, but there is some good film out there on Pat Bryant for OTAs. It looks like he's doing quite well. They're drawing some early comparisons from those on social media, the experts, if you will, right, to some of Sean Payton's former greats, Michael Thomas, things of that nature. Not saying he's going to go there. And I'm going with a combo. You said linebacker. Greenlaw is going to change this football team's attitude. I know the defense is really good right now. There's a nice finesse. There's not a lot of nasty. Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper are two nice guys. They're not out there, disrespecting quarterbacks and just getting mean. They're sacking them. They're scoring pick sixes. But I think Dre Greenlaw is going to change the game. Ralph Bracegirdle, circling back around the wagon. We appreciate all the support, YouTube Stars and Facebook here on MHI. I was in the South Stands for Darren Williams' last game also. Oh, man. I seen the limo in the parking lot. It's too bad the Niners stole our playoff spot with that game. Rest in peace. Yeah, man, that one was so brutal, Ralph. I remember waking up, a friend called me the next morning and was like, hey, did you see the news about Derek Williams? And I thought, no way, that's not true. And what a tragedy. Derek Williams, that number 27, definitely lives on in Broncos country's hearts. It's still cool, Tom. You see Derek Williams jerseys out there at training camp, and you still see Broncos country and what Derek Williams meant to the city and his short time served here on this planet and with this franchise.
Yeah, he was a good person. He seemed like a great kid that was budding into a star opposite Champ Bailey. There was high hopes for that tandem, and unfortunately his life was cut short. But yeah, he's still very well loved within the Broncos country, even only being there, 2 seasons.
Yeah, life's short, guys. We got to take care of ourselves and stay safe out there in these crazy worlds. Sometimes wrong place, wrong time. It can happen to anybody. But one thing I will say, coming out of the Derek Williams situation, or any Broncos tragedy, rather, when we lose a Bronco favorite, a Broncos great, whether that be by old age, illness, or or a fatal accident, rather, or a circumstance, the Broncos tend to do right by their family. And the Bolin family, Mr. Bolin in particular, always made sure of that. I think the Walton Penner ownership group have done a really good job honoring some of those traditions. I think that ownership group I think they have a good heart collectively. And I think that they care about this fan base. I know that they care about all high school footballs receiving those new Rydels this year, right? High school football teams, new helmets. You see the work they've done in the community. And just to see the way they've been honoring Demaryius Thomas, some of those things like that, it really makes me feel good, Tom, because ownership could have gone one or two ways, right? When somebody comes in, and it's either going to go really good or it's going to go really bad. And so far, I don't think Broncos country has many quarrels with the Walton Penner ownership group.
Yeah, no, and surprising to me, I had a low kind of hope for that ownership franchise, and they've blown it away. They've blown it out of the park. They've done exactly what they needed to do as an ownership group, and you can't ask for anything else. That other than a love for the Denver Broncos. That's the only thing I don't like. Pat Bowlen loved the Denver Broncos, so. Other than that, I mean, I don't know how much they love them or not, but you knew Pat Bowlen did. But they've done everything else right. They've done what needed to be done from the ownership group.
And I see where you're going with that, because we don't know them quite well enough yet, right? Like, we're still, even though it's 3-4 years down the road now, I mean, we're still getting to know each other. So it's not like Tom. I don't want anybody to take Tom's words out of context. The Walton Penner ownership group don't even love the Broncos. They just love Walmart. No, clearly they're putting a lot of their heart, soul, and their bottom line into this city and this franchise. And speaking of that, I don't know if you saw the news on social media today. They're buying up some real estate. Maybe here in Denver. An odd story broke from Business Den. I suppose I should give them some credit. And there's a little bit of a stadium leak, if you will, or people are starting to wonder, where will the Broncos' new stadium be? We've known for the last few seasons the Broncos have been shopping property. They've been looking all over the Denver metro area, everywhere from DIA to Parker. Now, apparently, people are starting to put together some of these pieces, and those people being at Business Den. Business Den released a YouTube video. They have a social media post over on X where they are suggesting that multiple real estate deals in one specific area under various dummy corporations or silent partners, whatever you want to call them, have been buying up a significant amount of land and an old rail yard here in Denver, Colorado. It's called the Burnham Yard, but all these dummy corps, all these businesses, if you will, that are buying this land, they're tied to one lawyer. People are starting to put the pieces together. Are the Broncos building a mega stadium, mega complex in an old rail yard in Denver?
Yeah, it's funny too, because I saw Mike Kliss came out and said, "Oh, that's normal. They buy land in preparation, and you never know what they're going to do." So that kind of made me think that they might be hitting on something. Like he's trying to downplay it a little bit, but I think they might be hitting on something there. It might be a little bit more to it than just a rumor.
That's just it. And you never know. I mean, it's interesting. And I saw Kliss had fired something back out there, and I don't know. Everyone's got an opinion on it for sure, but man, it's nice to have some owners with some money, right? Where
Yeah.
they can, they don't have to worry about this. They don't have to petition. It will be interesting to see, will the residents of Denver be taxed, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know all those ins and outs. I was a kid when the stadium was called Invesco back then.
Yeah.
Remember Invesco Field at Mile High?
Oh, yeah.
That was the new stadium when I was a little guy rolling up here. And I remember reading newspaper articles and having conversations with my dad about, well, there's a big approval process and taxes go into it. It's going to be interesting, and we can continue to speculate. I don't know how many real estate developers are watching MHI right now, but feel free to weigh in over on the comments. Here's another good friend. What's up, Naj? It's been a minute. Hope you and yours are enjoying your summer and doing well. A very generous $20 over on YouTube. What is up, brothers? Stacking up for a Super Bowl run. Tom, congrats on the new endeavor, brother. All right, Naj is calling his shot right there with David, and David. The Broncos are on to big things this season. Tom, tell us a little bit about this new endeavor that caught Naj's eye.
Yeah, I started a football stats and analytic business called Gridiron Intelligence. Go check it out. There's sample data you can look through. We can calculate just about any metric you want with the way we log the data. We've got exclusive data points that nobody else is going to have. You know, stuff like you can go and see pre-snap alignments just by clicking on a couple, plays, and so you can see that it's going to be awesome. But I need you to go. Just hit the sign up button so you can be notified when the subscription period starts. That's what I really need. Just go check it out, sign up, and it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be one of those things that I'm going to pour all of my love into. I've done it so far. Just getting it started has been a labor of love, but it hits on all the things that I'm good at and that I love. So I really want this thing to work out. So sign up and I would appreciate it.
Guys, that's gridironintelligence.com. Head on over and hook it up. Do Tom and this show a favor, because we're going to be using Gridiron Intelligence on this show this season. It's going to be in some articles over at milehighhuddle.com, and it's going to present a lot of fun conversation and interaction with the rest of Broncos country. Don't believe me? Don't like some of my takes on J.K. Dobbins and the season I think he's going to have? Well, use some of the Gridiron Intelligence's resources to tell me why RJ Harvey is the better running back coming up this offseason or this season in the fall. Really appreciate it, Naj, and I hope to see you at the meet and greet, bro. It was great to see Naj at the last couple meet and greets, man. Naj is a lot of fun, a lot of energy. We always have a blast with Naj, dude. Naj, one of those fun characters, man, that when you see Naj on top, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. I missed it last year, but I met him the year before, so that was great. I really enjoy the meet and greets. It's fun. Then you get to go to a game, and so far, every time we've went that I've been there, they've won. So that's been huge.
Yeah, we got the L last year against those damn Steelers, but Russell Wilson wasn't even the quarterback, right? So Who gives a rip? But will he be the quarterback against the New York Giants this year at the meet and greet? I mean, good Lord, this is the back-to-back Russell Wilson feature at the MHH meet and greet. If you love him, come cheer for him. If you can't stand him, come boo him. That's what a lot of us will be doing here in the Mile High City. Interesting how that plays out. What do you think is going to happen in the Giants room real quick? I know we're talking Broncos, and we kind of get through the NFL and get into Shador a little bit if you want to, but Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, who will be the starting quarterback come MHH meet and greet alumni weekend when the New York Giants are in town to face your Denver Broncos?
If there's no injuries, it's Russell Wilson. He's going to be the starter, and then by that time, they're going to start to get tired of his inability to stand up in the pocket and start to make some changes. But by midseason, he's still going to be around, still going to be the starter.
Could you imagine Jackson Dart having to listen to Russell Wilson in one ear and Jameis Winston in the other? I think people used to people were giving Shador Sanders a hard time for wearing headphones in interviews at the combine, allegedly. Well, Jackson Dart might want to ask to borrow those headphones because there's no way I can stand listening to those two guys. It'll be interesting, man. It's always fun to see returning players come back. Ralph coming back in here. Russ will be benched by week 7, and Dart will be the starter. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, right? To see some. I know Bo's not a rookie, but Always fun to see kind of a changing guard in the NFL. Tom, what'd you make of Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers uniform? That looked odd to me. You remember playing Madden football and like doing your dream scenarios where you would go in and manipulate rosters, and then you'd see that player, that quarterback on another team they shouldn't be on, being like, man, no way would this ever happen. That's the feeling I got when I saw Aaron Rodgers in the black and yellow. I guess he got married too. I don't know. I can never keep up with that guy.
Yeah, it was strange. I don't know, man. That guy, he might have a good year left in him in the Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, but man, I don't know. That it didn't look right. I think Tomlin is really grasping at anything to get a quarterback to get this team over the hump, because he just can't. He's a good coach. He just has no quarterback, and so he's grasping at straws there. It just seems like that's kind of the last grasp, and they better draft one going forward, because Aaron Rodgers isn't the answer there. No way. Maybe for half the season.
I know it feels really stale, right? I mean, in Broncos country can remember. What do you think of Aaron Rodgers last year when Broncos faced him, right? It was that second road trip after Tampa Bay. It was a horrible game, to be fair, for everybody. It was like a monsoon out there in Jersey, and nobody could hang on to the ball or stay on their feet. The Broncos were still able to walk away with the dub, but it was a pretty disastrous Aaron Rodgers chapter in the New York Jets, if you want to call it that. But it's interesting, man, when you start to look at the changing of the guard, like I said, at all these different quarterbacks. I mean, what's Geno Smith going to look like with the Las Vegas Raiders here in the AFC West? I mean, does he present a formidable threat to this Broncos defense, Tom? Because I'm hearing the Broncos defense, like usual, is looking pretty great this time of year out there in OTAs, right? It's these drills are almost designed for the defense to have more success than the offense, but spot reports. We were talking about some of those spot reports. Some people put the whole world into them. Others just a little bit of salt, and some could care less. One spot report I was checking into, apparently Zach Allen has been dominating the trenches at OTAs. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but he was just ruining Sean Payton's offense, ruining any sort of installation, and he was fired up. I guess, I call him Big Cat around here. Big Cat was fired up saying, quote, "I'm that effing good," continuing to pop guys in and out of the line of scrimmage. Zach Allen wants to get paid, Tom. If he comes out and makes another strong case, not only in OTAs, but in training camp, where he's usually the summertime MVP on that defensive line, you think the guy gets a bag?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's been the star of training camp for 2 years, and he's probably looking like a third, and he put it all together last year. Everybody knows that he's the guy. I think he needs to get paid. He's the number one priority in that entire Broncos team to get an extension. If they don't, I think it's a huge mistake if they hem and haw, and then he ends up taking money somewhere else.
They've got some decisions to make when it comes to their finances, their contract. Nick Benito is another conversation that we're constantly having. Broncos country's keeping their eye on. Do you risk it? Do you try to get out ahead of it? This is the argument you and I had last week, right? And I'm asking, are you paying for past performance or future? And you're like, dude, check the numbers. They're only going up. We got to figure out how to meet in the middle a little bit. Yeah. And that's the problem, right? With sometimes these contracts. And you and I can't agree, and we're podcast partners. Imagine the agent and the player. Hard to say. Let's see here. We got Phil McLaughlin. Filthy Phil. What's up, buddy? What is the lineup for running back, tight end, and wide receiver? Does Prescorn start? Man, I don't know. The Prescorn's going to be a big if starting, considering what you got Ingram, right? Like he's your guy. I don't know. I don't know about starting there. Practice squad, perhaps. Running back, we're getting into it, man, and I'll go tight end and wide receiver with you as well. I think J.K. Dobbins was brought in here to be the veteran leading back. Him and R.J. Harvey, those are your two top running backs. I know some people may disagree with it. I'm speculating. Could be wrong. I don't see why Sean Payton would bring in a veteran running back to lead a young room full of inexperienced players from the second and third string lineup, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So this will be a running back by committee sort of season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I think that the rookie Harvey is going to be the starter. He's going to carry more of the load because Dobbins needs less reps. He needs to stay healthy. They want to keep him healthy for the entire season, hopefully, and get him into the playoffs. And the other reason is because they can count on him to be that third down back. So Harvey can be the first down guy, and they can split second down, and then Dobbins is going to be that third down guy because he can block, he can catch out of the backfield, and he can make something happen with his feet if they need to hand it off as well. So I think that's why you're going to see Harvey as kind of the number one guy, Dobbins coming in to spell him. That's my opinion. And then after that, I think it's McLaughlin, only because he's that kind of gadget, get in space type of player that they can throw out there and he can make something happen in space.
You may even be prepared, I should say, to see scenarios in which you have multiple running backs out on the field and then you see Jaleel motioned out, right, into a flex or something like that. I could totally see Sean trying to play the two running back game and try to use one as a wide receiver. And then, hey, I have a tight end joker over here, everybody. He loves to overcomplicate things. We will see how it goes. Yeah, pre-scoring though, man, I don't know. That's so tough. That's such a deep dive. I don't know. Must be a fan of his college days, right, Phil? Because I'm blanking. Was he an Ole Miss, a Kansas guy? Red and blue, right? That's where that guy went to. I remember the jerseys, I think, were at least red and blue for that young man. Wide receiver, Pat Bryant, I think, has been getting some love, at least coming out of these OTAs. Tom, I know you were a little concerned when he was drafted, and you're right to have those concerns. Doesn't mean you don't think he'll be a good player, but he seems to be getting a little bit of run on social media. I mentioned it earlier. It sounds like Sean Payton's wanting to use him like another big-bodied wide receiver. Hard to say what he's going to do with another rookie. We're all wondering how Devon Vele is going to do. What's the future hold for Cortland Sutton? Marvin Mims is going to be your slot magician. Hard to say, but the wide receiver room, the running back room, I'm feeling a lot better than I did last week, all because J.K. Dobbins is here. I like having a vet here. I could also see them using J.K. Dobbins a little bit like the NBA. What do I mean by that? Maybe not rest, but maybe use your aging player with an injury history a lot more sparingly than your brand new toy named Quadzilla and RJ Harvey.
Exactly. And then going back to Pat Bryant, I hope he is exactly what people are saying he is right now. But remember, minicamp, there's not a lot of competition going after him. He's not getting beat up at the line and everything else. So I'm gonna wait, just like I'm waiting on Bo Nix reports. Like, he's struggling. Good, he should be, because he should be trying to get better. So let's wait, see how this goes into preseason before I'm anointing Pat Bryant as the next big thing. But I do think he is in the plans. I think that they're going to give him every opportunity to play a lot, because I think he is the deciding factor whether they sign Cortland Sutton to an extension or not. If he's the guy, if he's good enough, they're going to let Cortland Sutton walk, and they're going to stick with Pat Bryant for the future.
We're all about giving shout outs on this show. You guys support us. It's only right that we support each other. Huge congratulations, Todd Ostendorf, about 2 weeks away from retirement. A huge tip of the cap from MHI. Congratulations, Todd. Let us know what's next, man. Let us know, because we're really excited for your next chapter in your life. And it's big, man. I'm big on celebrating. There's no such thing as celebrating a little thing, man. This life is so short. Share your successes with us. We want to give you guys a shout out as well. Ralph, what's up, Ralph Skirtle? I hope everyone watching is going to see Chad Jensen next week in Denver. I will be there. Ooh, Bridge the Gap coming to a Mile High City near you. Yeah, y'all stay safe down there. Stay safe down there. I hope Chad does well, man. Seriously. And congrats to Chad and his band. They've had a huge amount of success in such a short time period, man. It's cool to see them popping up on Sirius Radio. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. But using my radio the other day, and bam, there they are. Bridge the Gap with one Chad Jensen. Head on over to @Chad Jensen, MHH. I'm sure he would really, really appreciate the follow and support for Bridge the Gap as well. I wanted to get to our guy Keith. What's up, Keith? I see you in here. Keith is a guy like you, Nick, like the rest of our analytics team here at MHH. He likes numbers and he likes stats and he likes to give these guys a high bar, expectations. Thomas and Luke, in honor of Thomas's new website, give me a stat in 2025 that you think will turn heads.
Well, does 17 sacks turn heads? I think 17 sacks and 4 forced fumbles for Benito is going to turn some heads and make people wish they had given him that deal when they had the chance. So I think Benito's still ascending. I think he's going to take another step, going to be even better. I think you're going to see a better group around him, and he's going to get to the quarterback, and he's going to be one of those quarterbacks or edge rushers that are maybe leading the league in sacks next year.
Wow. I wrote it down, Tom. I wrote it down because that's pretty impressive, man. That would be so exciting. And I'm hoping you're right. I'm not saying you're going to be wrong. I think that's a really bold take. How about I'll go offense since you and we both like defense so damn much. We're suckers for it, and Keith knows it. So I'm not going to double dip on that and go, oh, Pastor Tan, he's going to get this many picks. How about one quarterback, Bo Chapman Nix? Last year in his rookie season, homeboy went 29 touchdowns for 12 picks at 3,775 yards. 2025, Bo Nix will pass the 4,000-yard passing mark. He's also going to get 35 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
It's a good season for him. Second year. That's not a sophomore slump, and that's actually going to be right up there with some of the best quarterbacks, actually, I think. I mean, unless some folks have some really good seasons, but you're not seeing those as often anymore. It seems like they're, kind of the defense have kind of figured out that the quarterback situation a little bit and kind of reined it in. So I think that'd be a great season for Bo Nix, and I expect him to be getting better. That's why you're going to see these reports about him struggling in camp once in a while, because he's going to go out there and try to get better. That's his mentality. You saw it last year. He's going to be doing everything. He's going to be testing himself, and all in preparation for having the best season he can have.
And if it's ever, they very rarely do it, Tom, but when they do 1v1s, because Sean Payton will do it. You see, he will do it. He doesn't, but this isn't Nathaniel Hackett. We're going to go out there and play grab ass. He will go one-on-ones in training camp, starters versus starters. He does it sparingly. You want to avoid fights. You want to avoid injuries, but this is where we're going to see some of those progressions. And you're right. There's going to be a lot of panic when Bo Nix is throwing interceptions to Pat Surtain, Jahdae Barron, Brandon Jones, Hufanga may even grab one. Who the hell knows? That's what I want to see. Let's try something different in practice. Thread the needle a little bit. Get it into the window you can't. Work out all those mistakes with Pat Bryant, Devon Bailey, Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton. Work out all the kinks with Evan Ingram wearing number 1, man. By the way, that jersey, as you know, Tom, that brings so many expectations. I struggled when I said 35 touchdowns, 13 picks, and 4,000 yards. I struggled with the 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns because that means Sean is going to be very pass happy. I want him to run the ball, Tom. I want him to run the ball. I almost went with a running back, and I guess we can ask this question. I ask it to Keith and the rest of Broncos country. Tom, Scott, what do you think about this? Which Broncos running back will get to 1,000 yards first? R.J. Harvey or J.K. Dobbins?
R.J. Harvey. I just don't see. I mean, Dobbins just does not stay healthy enough to be on the field the whole time. So, I mean, from what I'm seeing from Harvey, he looks like a dynamic player. I think and like I said, he's going to be the first guy. He's going to be that guy that gets the bulk of the carries, with Dobbins being one of those. Let me
amend it. All-purpose yards. How about that? Because we have to consider this too, and it's something that I'm not thinking of. So I wanted to kind of amend that a little bit. R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins are going to be expected to catch the ball. So is Jaleel McLaughlin, and Jaleel McLaughlin caught the ball very well coming out of the backfield last year. So how about all-purpose yards? Does that principle still run true because this young man out of the second round from UCF has way more tread on the tires?
I think it still holds because I just, like I said, Dobbins, it scares me that he's not going to play the whole season. And I think they're going to limit him just to try and get him through the season because he's been hurt so many times. And I think that's going to be part of their philosophy. Now, I could be wrong. They could try and run the tires off of him, the first 6 weeks and then say, you know what? Oh, well, he's used up and we'll go to the next guy. Not sure. But I think they're going to be careful with him. I think he's a great addition. And I think Harvey is going to be expected to be the bulk of the carries player. And so you're just going to get a little bit more touches.
I completely agree. And so does Broncos country. They're like, look, man, half as many carries. So that makes tons of sense when you look at touchdowns. Want to go touchdowns? Are you going to trust the veteran running back in the short yardage scenarios, or is RJ Harvey going to be breaking them off? I mean, that's a little more interesting, right? A little closer.
Yep. I'm going to go Dobbins for touchdown just because he's going to be in different situations more often. I think he's going to be more trusted at the goal line, more trusted for, those quick passes out of the backfield in the red zone, that type of stuff. So I'm going to go with Dobbins. Will have a few more touchdowns, but not as many yards.
Keith circling back around. He's calling his shot on JK, getting to the 1,000 all-purpose yards for us. More experience, highest paid, most reliable, barring those injuries, Keith, right? Like, that's a happy problem to have, right? Like that. I'm feeling good. We're feeling good here. At least our crowd here on MHI tonight. I saw a lot. I had one guy come at me last night, and he didn't come at me in a bad way or anything like that. But he's like, this makes no sense. This was RJ Harvey's team. I don't get it. I'm just like, my only answer or my only reply to that was, what does J.K. Dobbins take away from the Denver Broncos running back room? What does he take away from RJ Harvey? I mean, RJ Harvey is going to have a little bit of a time adjusting, folks, in the NFL, and training camp looks like cake compared to regular season action. And we all see it every year in every circumstance for these football teams, specifically the Broncos. First 3, 4, 5 games of the season, 6 games of the season, they're rough, Tom. They're low scoring, lots of mistakes, lots of penalties. They get a little rough to watch. And a lot of it had to, at least for the Broncos, in my opinion, had to do with so many young players playing, so many rookies. And Sean doesn't quite know how to use these guys quite yet. He has ideas, but we got to see what it actually translates to, because as you know, a plan on paper translates a whole lot different to play calling on the field with rookie and young player performance.
And on top of it, they're not rebuilding. They're going after that next step. Why are they not? I would be surprised if they didn't try to improve that running back room with a veteran. I mean, someone who could add to that room. I mean, obviously Dobbins adds to that room. The only question mark is his health. It's not his ability to make plays or block or catch passes out of the backfield or whatever. That's not the question. It's his health. So if you can improve that room, why wouldn't you in this situation? Now, if they were 8 wins and they still wanted to kind of get younger and work on that rebuild, yeah, I could see that, but not now. They're in. They're all in. They're going for it in the next couple of years. They're wanting to compete for that Super Bowl title. So improve that room, and they might even improve other rooms as well. I mean, you might see them pick up another veteran if one of them happens to come free in the tight end group, wide receiver group. You never know.
Yeah, wide receiver comes to mind for another veteran, maybe, and depending on injury and performance and how the guys are looking. Real quick, Tom, I know we asked it last Wednesday. Would you rather have J.K. Dobbins or Nick Chubb? Nick Chubb obviously just went to the Houston Texans. I asked you this question last week. Now looking at it, what do you think? Happier with J.K. Dobbins, or would you have rather had a look at Nick Chubb?
I'm happy with Dobbins just because we saw what happened with Javonte Williams' major injury. Just wasn't the same guy. I don't know if Chubb, I want to see him on the field. Dobbins, I know his injury has an injury history, but last year he, it wasn't a significant, major debilitating injury. He should bounce back. He should be a little bit more ready to go. I would rather wait and see with Nick Chubb. Maybe he does bounce back, but those kind of major injuries, make me nervous about how good they're going to be coming back in, especially that first year after the injury.
I completely agree with you. And, my first thought, Joe Mixon is still down there with the Houston Texans, right? And I had Joe Mixon on my fantasy team since everybody cares, and he did quite well with me until the end of the year. But last I checked, now you got two aging, injured running backs with CJ Stroud. How is that going to help that young quarterback? So while we're talking about a young running back room over here in Denver, adding a vet, it's the nursing home down there at the Houston Texans, and they're all shuffling around with their walker. I hope it doesn't kill CJ Stroud here in the regular season. Phil McLaughlin. Tom could, thank you with all the Facebook stars, man. Huge supporter. Tom could be correct with the number of sacks for Nick Bonito. If we have two Pro Bowl cornerbacks, which I am hoping, the QB is going to hold the ball longer and give up more sacks. Wow, what a nice problem to have. Potentially two Pro Bowl corners, a Pro Bowl rusher. I know everybody likes to sleep on my guy, Jonathan Cooper, but Coop's going to be competing with Nick Bonito as well. I don't have Coop getting to 17 sacks, but there was a time for a majority of the season, I think Coop was leading on Nick Bonito. I'll never let Tom forget. And Michael Rinquillo tying a big red bow on it over on Facebook. You got to believe. God bless Bo Nix and go Bo Broncos. Great show tonight. Thomas, Luke, and Scott on the Mile High Insiders. Let's go, Bo Chapman. Knicks. Yeah, cool to see Broncos. They're out and about. They're you still see them in the summertime a little bit. Went to the post office today, saw a guy in his Bo Nix jersey sitting in line at the post office. It's getting to be that time here in the Mile High City, regardless of wherever you are, West Coast, East Coast, North, South, International. Get that orange on now, because it is going to be a special, exciting Broncos 2025 season here at Mile High Huddle. We can't wait to take you through it here on MHI every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain. If you'd like to reach out to Tom on X, please do so. That's at Thomas Hall NFL. Don't forget to head on over to gridironintelligence.com. Give my guy a sign up. If you'd like to reach out to Scott, that's at Scout Kennedy as well. I encourage everybody to head on over there. Tons of football content coming out this season, more than you would expect, more than ever. So I'm really excited for Scott as he embarks on a huge football season of his own. If you'd like to reach out to me, that's at Luke Patterson LP over on X. Come tell me why I'm right about everything on these podcasts every Wednesday night, and why Tom doesn't know what he's talking about. If you want to argue with me, that's at Thomas Hall NFL. Another fun show, guys. Really needed this one. A blast. I can't believe we're midway through June. Training camp is right around the corner. These OTAs, we're learning little bits, more and more exciting times, my friend.
Yeah, and it's very exciting for Broncos country. And you can see it in the chat. People are excited, giving us stars and super chats. So they're excited about the season. So we really appreciate it. We can't wait till the season starts so we can keep talking about this Broncos team with you all. I mean, it's high hopes, and I think it's warranted. So it's come meet and greet time. We're going to be able to hopefully be celebrating some pretty good season through 8 games.
You are damn right, my friend. It was so good to see other friends that we haven't talked to in the chat for a little bit. Obviously, we appreciate everybody's generous support, but David Kilgore, man, it was great to chat with you. Ralph Bracegirdle, so generous with your Facebook stars. Phil McLaughlin, you as well. Eric Flynn, you're always showing up and showing out for us. Michael Rinquillo, man, it's been a minute. I'm so glad that you were able to tune into us live, and we really appreciate you. Can't forget our great friend, Deanna Hendry, who I can't wait to see and meet at the MHH group meet and greet. My lovely mother, of course. Ralph Bracegirdle, another active member. Naj Altoff, can't wait to have a cold pop with you. I don't think I missed anybody else other than our big Papa Bear. What's up, David? We are thinking of you. David Yonkin. Just wanted to make sure, Phil McLaughlin, I hit all of our friends and our families with the supers on the way out, guys. Remember, your time is the most generous and valuable thing you can give us. If you are not in a position to donate, we understand. We will be back with you next Wednesday. Tom is going to be either riding solo or having a mystery guest to fill in. I'll be in parts unknown on assignment, as all the professionals would say these days. And we'll be rocking and rolling in a couple of Wednesdays. You and me, Tom.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody. It's always a pleasure to be able to sit here for an hour and chat with everybody. So thank you very much for just stopping by and chatting with us. And man, hopefully some big news happen the next couple of weeks.
Boom. Broncos country. You've got 2 new running backs, RJ and JK. This is the way.
This is the way.